Welcome to the Reckoning Podcast, where we stoke a campfire, gather around, and have real-life conversations with old friends, new friends, professionals, and just shoot the shit. Reckoning all things from hunting, outdoors, beauty, entrepreneurship, relationships, life, and more. It's all just a reckoning. I am popping in this week. Hopefully you can hear me. I kind of have my mic set up differently. We'll see. But I'm popping in this week with a quick episode for some ideas for meals for camp because the time has come. It is officially spring, my children tell me, even though it's been snowing here in Utah, but the time has come. It's springtime. I have a feeling everyone's going to be getting their camp trailers out, getting the tents, all the gear, and you guys are ready to go camping like we are. And I wanted to give you guys, let's see, how many do I have? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, 2 dinners, dessert. So I want to give you 5 ideas for meals for camping that are simple, require little to no, like, it's easy. They're quick and easy. That way you guys are going to be able to enjoy your camping, because sometimes I want to sit and like make a meal and do all the things, but honestly, when I'm going camping, I just want to be there to be able to relax and enjoy myself and enjoy being in nature and usually the company that I'm with. So I try and either prep meals ahead of time in what aspect I can or do easy meals. We do have other podcasts where we mention 5 other easy camping meals that are healthy and that are kid approved. I'll link it down in the show notes. So if you are watching this on YouTube, it'll be in the description below. Or if you're listening to this on the podcast apps, you just scroll up from where it is you're listening to, and it should say that underneath there if you're curious. And I'll have this all outlined as well in the article so that you can have recipes if need be. But these are kind of more suggestions, if you will, because sometimes, I don't know about you, sometimes you just need to be like, what are you making tonight for dinner? Or what are you doing this weekend? Give me some inspo, because we eat every damn day and sometimes you run out of some inspiration. So let's get into 5 meal ideas for camping. You've probably, if you're watching this, seen me kind of keep looking down. I do not have my handy dandy brief printed for this episode, so I'm referring to my phone on my Asana app where all my ideas are thrown in, and I'm trying to get this done before I go and get the kids. So we're here, we're moving, we're grooving, we're doing the thing. First, let's start with breakfast, obviously, right? I think one of the best things you can get for breakfast is a breakfast sandwich, specifically like a breakfast bagel. It blows my mind when people like don't salivate or just be like, yes, when you hear a breakfast sandwich. It's just bananas to me. Cooper specifically, my son, is like, that's fine. I'm like, what? I don't even understand you. But I love him regardless. So I would say doing breakfast bagels. These are things this is something that Cody always requests. Not to brag, but I've been making sourdough bagels. Okay, I made sourdough bagels once. And I would love to be able to, my main goal was to make these so that I could make Cody like a breakfast bagel. That's my form of like showing love. A breakfast bagel sandwich. So on your breakfast bagels, you can prep these ahead of time, which again makes it super nice. Things we like to put on ours, we like to do kind of like you would get, going to a coffee shop or a deli, with cream cheese, eggs, sausage or bacon, whatever kind of meat you're into, ham as well. We like also adding avocado on ours, and you can meal prep these. You can make a huge batch of these, wrap them in aluminum foil or plastic wrap, whatever is your wrap of choice. Although the aluminum foil is nice because sometimes when you are out and about, a lot of people like throw them up by their engine and let them warm up. And did you guys do that? Are you feeling that this is a safety issue? But that's another way to warm them up. I know that's like an old timer trick is throw in your breakfast burritos or your sandwiches as you drive around to warm them up. So yeah, you can prep these ahead of time and make it a grab and go. Or for us, we really like our big long griddle that we have over at the Camp Chef. And this makes it easy. We have a 3 burner one, which we love because we can prep our eggs, our bacon, and then our toast our bagels on there as well. And then everything's ready to go at once. Because if you're able to multitask that, then it doesn't feel so like daunting, you know? So breakfast bagels sounds delish. And like the fixings is like whatever anybody wants to put on there, melt it. Oh my gosh. I have yet to find a gluten-free like paleo bagel I can have. If you're wondering, the sourdough experiment on myself did not go well. Then the next thing is lunch. We're kind of on a sandwich kick lately. I don't know. It just seems right. I highly suggest doing these sliders. I actually might have talked about these probably in the summer, is when we discovered these. Shout out to my friend Nicole. She was the one that sent me the TikTok of the inspiration of this. But you can basically use like those Hawaiian king rolls, if that's, I think that's what they're called, right? The king Hawaiian, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, the Hawaiian rolls. And you can buy these in the large thing and just cut through them so that you can prep everything. So basically what you'll do is you'll decide what is going to be your transportation of choice for your deli meat and use that. The thing that makes these sliders is doing those Hawaiian king rolls. So you would cut the big package of those in half, just like as they're all connected, cut down the middle of them and divide it, and then flip open the top and the bottom. And then you would add on whatever your heart desires. I'm all about like make something towards you and your family. And we add on salami, turkey. I think we also did pepperoni. Again, like the sky's the limit on this. And then layer on there your cheese. And then you put that in a pan and you bake them in the oven until you get it to where you want, where the cheese is all melty. And then there's also a really delicious, basically like salad dressing that you put over the top of this. I will also link that in the show notes. But it really gives, we call them like the Jimmy John sandwiches because it tastes like a Jimmy John sandwich. It has in the dressing, I think is what like seals the dill. You obviously put this on after it comes out of the oven. And it has the lettuce, you have like your mayo, mustard, your red wine vinegar, your olive oil, salt, pepper, I think garlic as well. And then ooh, and then also pepperoncinis and that juice, oh my gosh, I know, right? And you mix that all together and then you layer that on top of your sliders. And this just like elevates your lunch. You're not just like slapping together bread with meat coming out of the cooler, which obviously we do all the time. You hear us talking about just like taking sandwich stuff with us and doing it while we're running around on the mountain. But these, like I said, just really elevate it. And my kids love this. We kind of have a mixed house on this. Some of like I think the boys really enjoy the slider version, and then for Cody and myself, and because I again am lame and have to have a different kind of bread, I'll do his on like a hoagie so that way he gets a big meaty sandwich. But it's super easy to prep. You could even prep these ahead of time before you leave the house and put on like open up the rolls, put inside of there your meat and your cheese, put the lid, the top back on, put it back in that bag that it comes in, put it in your fridge or your cooler. Highly suggest the Rugged Road cooler so it's not getting soggy. See what I did there? And then when you get to camp, bake them and oh my gosh, and have that salad prepped and ready. And that salad you could prep ahead of time as well. And it kind of just gets better with time. I mean, I wouldn't go past probably like 2 days, if I'm being honest, or it'll get a little soggy. But those sandwiches are a plus. And if anything, you have to check out the lettuce dressing. I don't know what you would call it, kind of like the lettuce salad coleslaw that goes over the top of it because I think that's the game changer. Make you a sandwich, make this, and you will be happy. So for lunch, make yourself some homemade Jimmy John inspired sandwiches. Or what's the sandwich place by you guys? I know there's like, I don't know. I know in like the South there's different ones, in the East there's different ones. I have two dinner recipe ideas for you. I wanted to give these to you because we're pretty content as a family eating like the same thing for breakfast and lunch if we're going just for 2 days. A lot of times my kids are super stoked just to have cereal. You know, the little mini boxes of cereal. They think those are just the coolest fucking things ever. Or like a Pop Tart, like, sweet, we got Pop Tarts. So I really don't do anything crazy for breakfast and lunches when I'm planning to go camping. I usually will plan on maybe switching up two different things. But if we're going for a weekend, usually our breakfast and our lunches are pretty much the same thing. And then when it comes to dinner, so I really love being able to utilize the coals and the campfire if you can. I mean, you're camping. Like for us, we're for the most part, you've heard us go on our backcountry hikes and our canyoneering experiences, but for the most part, we're usually pretty blessed and lucky that we are going with our RV. Um, and we're able to use stuff like our camp chef, or guess what? Rivers one of Blackstone or one of those, but you're camping and sometimes you want to use the fire. Like there's still another idea. Don't underestimate the power of roasting weenies over the campfire, okay? But I like utilizing the campfire, and something that is fun and different and easy. The theme of all this is doing campfire nachos. You can either do these in the Dutch oven. So you could do Dutch oven nachos. And I would use the aluminum liner that I like and you've heard me talk about before. Or if you're going to do these on the campfire or in the campfire, next to the campfire, whatever, over the coals, then you can just use an aluminum pan that you would get at the grocery store or on Amazon. I'm a big fan of these when camping. And what you would do is super freaking easy. And again, this is like a mix and match, make it as you like. And everyone could kind of help out and make, you can make two different batches or individually. But what you would do is pour your chips inside of the aluminum pan or in the Dutch oven. And then you'd add in all your favorite fixins. So you could prep some of this ahead of time. If you wanted to add ground meat to it, you could prep the ground meat before you go camping. If you want to do one less dish, one less thing to cook. So your favorite meat on top of that. And then also doing your beans, peppers, cheese, and then you'll cover that with aluminum foil and you'll set it next to the fire, not on the fire, or obviously you could put it on kind of the coals to the edge. And the goal of this is really just to get the cheese all melted and warmed up. And then from there, I mean, how fun is that? It's so fun. And then just get it out carefully, so carefully. And then you can top again with your favorite toppings, something like cilantro, lettuce, sour cream, avocado, salsa. You could do like those pickled onions. Ooh, so good. I highly suggest doing the campfire nachos. It's a fun, interactive way to make dinner as a family or as a group. And it's a great way to also feed a crowd as well. You could just do, I mean, different meats would be super fun if you could have everybody bring like a meat for nachos. And then also, like, a lot of times when we're going camping with friends, it'll be like one night we decide to do basically like kind of like a potluck, but like, hey, we're doing tacos or we're doing nachos. And then everybody kind of chips in with like something to bring. And it's fun to see what kind of fixings or additions can get added to that. And then for the second dinner, I would almost even say you could do this the night before nachos, and then you would have prepped meat left over. I really love the idea of doing kebabs. Do these again on your griddle, on your Camp Chef, whatever kind of griddle you have, or you could do these over the campfire. And kebabs, like, the options are endless. That's kind of the whole premise of this episode, I guess, would be like, here's your base to start with, your foundation, and you can mix and match and make it towards what it is you love. How many times have I said mix and match? You should have made this a drinking episode. So kebabs, we like doing either chicken or pork. I will say, again, something you could prep. You could cut up your chicken thighs, your chicken breasts, whatever you're into, and marinate that ahead of time. Get pre-diced or pre-cut vegetables if you needed. We like adding things like peppers, mushrooms, pineapple. What else, what do you guys like adding onto your kebabs? I would love to hear that. And then also another hack for this, if you're going to do pork, is we buy those pre-marinated pork loins, and we'll just take those and cut those up. And that makes it easy as far as packing something, buying something, saving me one less thing to prep. And you will just cook those until the meat is done. You could also, I think, would be really delicious and super simple, would be to make like a garlic butter sauce to add onto the side. And also brushing these onto something like a mushroom is just supreme. And then you could serve it with either like a salad or rice, and that's an easy, delicious, and I think like refreshing dinner. I don't know about you, but sometimes like I want like a fun nacho dinner, and then I'm like, okay, now I would like something light, fresh, filling, healthy with some vegetables. And I think kebabs is something that does this. And also it's just making me feel like summer. And I want to give you guys a dessert because we're camping, we're having fun. You probably get a whole bunch of fun treats, things maybe you don't normally get when you're at home. That's us. That's why I think my kids are totally content with the basics when it comes to lunch and breakfast, because they're getting snacks throughout the day. But a dessert that we really love doing and that has been a hit, especially with the kids, and something that's different, is making campfire cones. So, what you'll do is you'll buy your waffle cones, an ice cream cone, and also mini marshmallows. And then you can buy chocolate chips or any kind of chocolate candy that you want to put inside. And that's essentially your base for making campfire cones. It's a s'more, but in a fun little funnel. Should not do that on the internet with my hand to my mouth. But then from here, you can add things that you love to make it that much more fun. And this is where it's fun for the kids to assemble. So you could do something like Reese's Pieces to go inside of there. We like adding things like strawberries, bananas, and also peanut butter. Cody's currently gagging thinking of this. And then once you have them all piled in there and mixed in, you'll wrap your cone in aluminum foil and you'll set it kind of over to the side with coals. You want to make sure that it's upright for obvious reasons, so it's not tipping out, making a big old mess. And then you'll just get it to where the marshmallows are ooey and gooey and the chocolate has melted. And it makes for a really fun dessert that the kids have a lot of fun doing. And these are things too that keep well. I mean, obviously the fruit you'll have to buy every time, but you should be buying some fruit to bring with all those fun snacks. But the cones, the marshmallows, and the chocolate candy, all of that keeps really well. So you can usually get a couple camping trips out of this, if you're not going with a large crowd. So that was my quick episode, kind of outlining some ideas for your camping meals. I hope this is helpful. I think you guys enjoy getting camping ideas and meals. I will list some recipes or link to some specific recipes for each one of these. If it is something where you're like, I like that idea, but I don't know how to make that, I got you. I will link 2 recipes so that you can make it specifically. And then, yeah, I'm hoping that you enjoy yourself. I know a lot of people are starting to do spring break, so I figured this would probably be great timing for that as everyone starts to go Easter camping, spring break camping, and we just get ready for all the things camping. I am personally very excited to get outside and enjoy it all. I know my family is as well. And yeah, this, I think, I promise there's going to be guests coming on outside of just Cody and my boys. We're working it out, and I'm very excited for some of the guests and the direction that the podcast is headed with the guests. So I would love to hear, what is your go-to camping meals? Leave a comment on at the Reckoning Podcast or at Brittany.Long's latest post on Instagram so I can see what it is that you are loving, or maybe outline your camping meals. It's always so nice to be able to help each other out because, like I said, I have a running list of probably 50 different meals in my phone, but sometimes I'm just like, none of that sounds good. I don't know. So I would love to hear from you guys if you have any suggestions for guests, or if you are someone who has an incredible story or are a professional in some aspect of health, wellness, the outdoors, I would love to hear from you. And please don't forget to like, subscribe. I'm starting to put these all onto YouTube and maybe thinking of trickling more into some YouTube stuff versus so much like the TikTok, if you will. So, would love for you guys to check us out over there, and I will see you guys soon.